What's happening, Team Floppy? Welcome back to the channel, Captain Chad Gabbs, and we have Miss Oakley here. She's a part of my 3-week board and train program, and who knows, honestly, it could end up being longer with this one. And if I ever feel like I need to keep a dog longer, I typically just do it on the house because I quote people for 3 weeks a lot of the time. I could get a lot of good stuff done for dogs in 3 weeks, really get the ball rolling with whatever issue it is that we have. But with this particular dog, we're going to unpack quite a bit of my game plan for her moving forward. She just got here yesterday. We're going to talk a little bit about my protocol and why I do things the way that I do. But before that, if you like the content, if you learn from the content, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's really the only metric I look at is my subscription. Liking the video just really helps get into the algorithm a little bit more as I'm trying to really get this YouTube stuff going. I've got platforms, I got all my other platforms popping off except YouTube is not quite there. I'm trying my best, but in any case, let's get into it, man. We're going to talk about some protocol stuff. So she just got here yesterday. She is extremely fearful and extremely uncertain. And for me, I don't typically like to jump like right into any sort of formal like obedience or even put too much pressure on a dog. I like to allow the dog to like acclimate to the surroundings and kind of get their wits about them. Like right now, she's just like panting and stressed out. But I have to let her feel what she's feeling. It's not like I can give her food or anything to like snap her out of this. She just has to feel uncomfortable and feel like I have to show her that there's nothing for her to really worry about. And there's really nothing I can do to snap her out of this. Time will go by. She will learn that nothing bad happens to her here. This is why we focus on relationship stuff. We're relationship focused dog trainers over here. We really like to lean into the thing that's going to like really accommodate where the dog is. You see that yawn? That's stress coming out. That's her actually dealing with a difficult situation. And the yawn, she's obviously not physically tired. I point this out all the time to people. She's obviously not sleepy, so she's not yawning because she's tired. She's yawning because she's feeling a little uncomfortable just being in my presence. I'm not even doing anything to threaten her by looking at her, talking to her, or touching her. She's just in a brand new environment, and she doesn't have a lot of experience being in a new environment. And this is why we constantly talk about how important it is to really show your dog the world, take them to a lot of different places. This is what socialization is for a dog. A dog that can go different places and not really put off this kind of energy, right? To be able to digest a new environment, new things more gracefully. That's a well-socialized dog. And that's something that we're going to be working on with her. But first, it's probably going to take a couple of days for her to kind of like what I like to consider let your hair down. She needs to let her hair down a little bit. So we're not going to rush into it. So that's first things first. We're just hanging out in my office. I've got my dogs in their kennel. We're not going to expose her to other dogs at this point because she's just not in a very healthy space yet. Her and I need to build some relationship value first, and then we could probably consider doing some dog interaction stuff with the right dogs. A video for another time. But yeah, so we're here. We're hanging out together in the office. Just good, positive experience, limited to no pressure at all. But one of the things that I've noticed about her is that her uncertainty and the fact that she's like kind of like just so like stressed out about being here. She's pacing and she's going all over the place. And for me, that's similar to somebody that needs help, right? That needs guidance. And so if I just kind of allowed her to be off leash and like pacing and go all over the place, trip out, bug out, I'm not really doing anything to really help her out there. So what I have a leash attached to her here. So once she starts pacing and like trying to look for a way out, I can at least grab the leash and kind of provide her with a little bit of stability and a little bit of like an idea of like what to do. So if she starts pacing and losing it, I just grab the leash and I take control. Hey, similar to like if you show up to a job and you're new and you don't know what to do, you start to stress out and panic. If somebody came up to you and was like, hey, they grabbed your hand or they grabbed your shoulder and they're like, hey, don't worry about it. I'm here for you. We're going to get through this together. You would go from being like wigged out to like, oh man, I feel a lot better about that. And so that's kind of what I'm like trying to do for her at this juncture. So yeah, that's first things first. As soon as she starts to kind of like let her hair down a little bit, my goal is to get her to be a dog, right? There's another one right there. So she is not having fun and like being a normal dog. Like she's stressed out, and I want to help her build confidence. And in reference to, you know, her confidence building stuff, it's surprising to hear that like taking more control and providing more stability and more rules and these types of and more structure for a dog like her, these are things that when you incorporate them, you're going to sort of see the confidence rise as a byproduct of that strategy. Because this is a dog that hasn't had a lot of that, never been in a kennel. There's no structure there, like no crate training, no like walk next to me, like none of that stuff. And not all dogs are created equally, right? So you can have a dog of the same exact breed as her, and that dog will be like just naturally confident. That dog may not exhibit some of the same things that this dog does as a result of a lack of structure, rules, boundaries, and the stuff that I just listed. So it's very much so like train the dog in front of you. They're not all the same, even though they might be the same breed or a similar breed. So it's very important for me as a trainer to identify that. And it's with that said that I don't do cookie cutter shit, man. I don't do the same exact thing for every dog. My strategy and my approach, while may have a lot of similarities in my program of what I do, but it's just probably going to look a little bit different for each and every individual. And I think that's super important for any trainer watching this video right now to incorporate into their program, because at that point, you're tailor-made to the dog, and your clients love that. Your clients love that you're not going to treat this dog the same exact way or train this dog the same exact way in reference to, like, for example, corrections. This dog right here is tripped out and in a spate. No corrections. And once we start incorporating like corrections with leash corrections and stuff, it's always in accordance to like what this specific dog can handle. And that's why like we always say, the good dog trainers say, the dog will determine what's aversive and what's not, right? So levels will vary, you know, how hard we're going, how soft we're going. It's when we're going to be starting correcting and using pressure and things like this. It's very, very, very unique to the dog. And I think if you go to a place where it's just a cookie cutter strategy and they're doing the same shit on every single dog, that's probably a red flag, because I don't want my dog that I love that needs a specific strategy to be trained by somebody who doesn't believe in a tailor-made program for the specific child and meeting them where they're at. That's super important for me personally, and that's exactly why I incorporate that into my program. So she's pacing, so I'm just going to kind of stop her from pacing and just kind of get her to sit still, kind of show her what to do for a second, because that's kind of making me nervous too. It's like, dude, just chill, just stand right here, it's good. But she doesn't want me to pet her. She's not interested in my affection or anything like that. And I'm not going to assume that she does want my affection. She doesn't. I'm not going to touch her yet. She hasn't requested any type of affection or attention from me. And I'm going to honor that. Okay? People will be like, all dogs love me. I'm like, shut up. Don't do that. But in any case, so that's just a little bit of what we're going to do, man. And we're going to take our time with her. We're going to do our best to build her confidence. We're going to push her. We're going to push her beyond the limits of what she thinks she can achieve. And I mean, as you guys probably know, when we face our fears, we're able to get to the other side of that. And as a byproduct of facing fears, our confidence will grow. So we're going to have her do different obstacles, getting up on platforms. I have tires out there. I have A-frame stuff. Just this type of stuff where at first she's not going to want to do it. And if you guys want to subscribe to the Patreon page that I have, you could see exactly the whole process, because that's where I post like exclusive stuff, like how-to stuff. But I do hope that you guys get value out of this little banter, this conversation. I think this is a really good way for me to also sort of send this video to my clients as well, so they kind of know a little bit about what we're doing, and sort of get updated on, because they're definitely, they're definitely wondering like how she's doing. Just checking the mic because sometimes that shit turns off and then the whole content goes to shit. But anyway, patreon.com/Team Floppy Ears. I'll link that in the description for more like how-to stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be a journey together, and we're gonna improve. And she's gonna be a lot better for coming here. Just adapting to a new environment and becoming comfortable in a new environment is growth. That's the third one. Boom, nice little sit there. Good girl. I might give her some verbal. Good girl. Yes, good job. But that's as much as I'll do there. I'm not gonna like reach for her to touch her or anything like that. So one day at a time, one step at a time, man. I appreciate you guys watching. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I would appreciate it if you did that. Go check out all my shorts. I'm getting a lot of views on my shorts. I don't know how that works. But if you did get something from the video and you don't subscribe, it's like you're stealing. And I know you don't want to be that guy, or you don't want to be that girl. You're like the kid that goes up to the candy bowl on Halloween and takes the whole goddamn thing. Don't leave some candy for the rest of the kids. You know what I mean? Do the right thing. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down. Whatever. Love you guys. Captain Oakley. We'll see you at the next one. Let me know if you'd like to see anything in the comments. Let me know if you like the video in the comments. Anything at all. All right? Peace. Nice. Stayed on the whole time. What do you think, Oak? Good girl. All right. Peace.